touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get mad. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on their necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regret, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Ghislaine Maxwell.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on their necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me?
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamin. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get into it. Listen, I am running late because I saw all these things popping up about nefarious things people are doing to children. Okay, so we're going to get into it. All right, so hello, Yvette, Claudette, Nubia Ra is here. All right, let's get into it. Deronda G from the land, DJ Big Six. All right, Nita's and Mike's World, Nessa G. Okay, everybody hit the like button. Thank you in advance. I see you, Pearly. Leon is here. Shout out to my moderators because y'all know they be putting in work. Okay, we the people. All right, Leon, Millicent. Okay, Byron is here. Sean, Robert. All right, so let's get into it. Sean H1 is here. All right, Pretty Wings. Claudette. Okay, so shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into Queen. Now, before we get into it, let's have a brief word from my sponsor. All right, Rod Breeze, thank you for the belated birthday wishes, beloved. I appreciate you. Okay, so let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes, and then we'll get into it.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
So don't forget, you can purchase 12 Tribes Hair Oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Now, let me just tell you all, as I was getting my things together, I told you all, there was some information popping up. Several things popped up, but one, this is breaking news, okay? Justice Department employee charged in child porn case. Okay, I'm sorry. But they want to cover up the Epstein files. Please pay attention because these people are getting exposed regardless. Okay, some of them are absolutely going to be exposed regardless. Now, let's get into it. And this came out just about 3 or 4 hours ago. A longtime Justice Department employee has been arrested and charged in a child pornography case. And this is according to multiple sources who spoke with CBS News. Now, they say Timothy Parsons, a legal staffer at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C., is facing federal criminal charges in Maryland, where he lives, according to the sources. So, according to a court filing reviewed by CBS News, an FBI task force searched Parsons' home in Bethesda on Monday, looking for potential criminal material. Now, an FBI agent alleged that Parsons answered questions from investigators and acknowledged receiving a message with child sex abuse material from another person. This was all the way back in February of 2019. So a Justice Department spokesperson said in a statement that the employee is now on leave and appropriate disciplinary action will be taken in accordance with standard procedure. While we cannot comment on personnel matters, we hold all of our employees to the highest standards of ethical conduct at all times. Sure they do. Now, according to an FBI affidavit, Parsons received multiple videos and 2 images of child abuse material. The affidavit said Parsons told investigators that he had deleted those messages. The charging documents also alleged Parsons responded to the images with sexually charged responses, including things like, "Ooh, that is so hot, freak." Okay, do y'all hear this? So, according to court filings and a review of the court dockets by CBS News, Parsons' case was uncovered by investigators who handled a 2025 investigation into Victor Blythe, a former child psychotherapist at Children's National Medical Center in Washington. Now, the court filing said the images sent to Parsons were sent by a suspected child exploiter whose case matches details of Blythe's 2025 criminal case. So they were looking into somebody else and found one of her own. Please pay attention, honey. All nefarious. The affidavit also said on Monday that the FBI executed the warrants at Parsons' Bethesda residence and seized several devices belonging to Parsons, who lives there by himself and was alone in the residence when the FBI arrived. Now, investigators conducted an on-site preview of Parsons' devices and identified no child abuse material, but a full forensic examination of the devices consistent with the search warrant is pending. Parsons has not yet entered a plea in his case. He is scheduled to appear in court Friday in Greenbelt, Maryland. The court docket said Parsons has been appointed a federal public defender. Oh, can't even afford an attorney? Isn't that awful? Now, the public defender's office did not immediately respond to requests for comments. And CBS News sought comment from Parsons, but has not received a response. Blythe has pleaded not guilty and has a court appearance in his federal criminal case scheduled for March the 25th. And I will be keeping you all updated. Did y'all hear that? This is the Justice Department's own employee, a longtime employee. Okay, Flower Lotus said you didn't get a notification. I'm sorry, beloved. Okay, this is absolutely nefarious. What do y'all have to say about it all? Okay, but let's continue because there's more bullshit to come. Okay, and as per usual, I just want you all to know it is as per usual the same suspects all the time. Okay, now also the other breaking news is the fact that Pam Bondi has been subpoenaed over those Epstein files. Okay, she's going to have to come out and explain herself. She's going to have to come out and explain herself, but hold on. Also, you might want to hear this. Politician Rory Amon admits sex with a 13-year-old boy in a dirty, hidden car park toilet. Yikes. Do y'all hear this? These people are so disgusting. Every last one of them. Okay? You know, they shouldn't even really be sent to prison. I think they need to get the death penalty. That's what I think. They need to get the death penalty at this point, as he faces rape charges and jury hears his explanation. Okay, let me pull this story up because this is something reported by the Daily Mail just a few hours ago. Politician Rory Amon. Notice how these people are always politicians or have something to do with government affairs. Let me pull this up. Here it is right here. Let me see what they have to say about this man. Okay, he denies the sexual assault complainant and says the complainant told him he was 15. That makes it better. Anyway, former Liberal MP Rory Amon has told a jury the complainant in his sexual assault trial told him that he was 17. Oh, well, they said 15 in the title. But anyway, says he told him he was 17. Sure, he did. Okay, before they discussed meeting up. And he would have ceased communications with the teenager if he'd known that he was under 16. Now, Mr. Rahman has pleaded not guilty to 10 charges, including indecent assault of a person under 16 and having sexual intercourse with a child aged 10 to 14. Despicable. Now, jurors in the Supreme Court trial have previously heard evidence from the complainant that he was 13 when he met up with Mr. Aman in June or July of 2017, after initially connecting through a subscription website before the communications moved on to Snapchat. So the complainant, who cannot be identified for legal reasons, recalled lying about his age when he signed up for the free trial because the website's policies prohibited underage users. In his evidence, the complainant said he also lied about his age in the Snapchat communication with Mr. Ahmad. Now, he said, I believe I told him I was 15. This is what he testified to last week. Now, here's the thing. He may have lied about his age, but let me tell you all something. Do you all remember when I showed you how even when somebody lies about their age when they're like 13 to 15 years old, you can tell they're lying if you have any common sense. You can tell by the conversation they have, the way they behave, the things they're talking about. Okay, also by their looks. Okay, their faces look a whole lot more youthful, okay, when they're in that stage of adolescence, right? Cheeks are more fuller. I showed you all comparative pictures. Do you all remember? I showed you Keke Palmer when she was younger as opposed to how she looked a few years later. Okay, I showed you all several pictures. So I'm not falling for this, okay, and likely excuse. But my thing is, what are you doing messing around with teenage boys anyway? Okay, even if he was 17, you freak. But let's continue. So anyway, goes on to say Mr. Ahmad began giving evidence on Friday afternoon after the Crown closed its case. He told the jury that at some point during the Snapchat interaction, the question of age was raised, but he could not remember who asked it. I do recall he told me he was 17, he said. Now, defense counsel Matthew Johnson, SC, asked, when he told you he was 17, did you believe him? And of course, he said yes. He said there was nothing in the communications or images received to indicate a different age. Maybe you should ask the CID, okay? Maybe that's what you should do. Now, asked directly about the complainant's evidence of giving the age of 15, he replied, no, he didn't. What would your reaction have been? Mr. Johnson asked. I would have ceased communications, he replied. Because if you're under 16, you can engage in sexual activity. Mr. Ahmad recalled there being an exchange of nude photographs with the faces obscured. He was 27 at the time and testified that he would have told the teenager his true age. This is all just sick. Okay, then they talk about Grindr requires users to acknowledge that the app was for people 18 or older. We know people be lying on the internet. Okay, no matter what the rules are. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Got some real freaks out here. And like I told y'all, this is him right here. That's him, Rory Amon. Okay. And this is true right here. If the Epstein files were full of only black men, every single one of them would be in prison right now. Yeah, they would, or on their way, and we all know it. But it isn't full of black men. It's full of the usual suspects, those who have a culture. Okay, this is a culture at this point. Do you all not know that? Okay, it's always the same people. Please pay attention. Not in every single case, but in most of the cases, it's absolutely the same folks all around the world, globally. What do you make of that? Well, you know, that's their culture. Okay, but also let's talk about this too. They were not criminals. These are crimes against humanity. So now they're saying that some of these people at Alligator Island, okay, Alligator Alcatraz, whatever they call it, have gone missing. 1,200 of them? Where the hell are these people? Let's get into it.
1,200 people who were detained at Alligator Alcatraz have vanished, and their records have been completely wiped from the online ICE database. Their families and lawyers have no idea where they are and have no way to reach them. That's over 2/3 of the detainees who are being held there who are just gone. This information comes at the same time as reports confirm that ICE is using untraceable military flights to send immigrants to prison camps in third world countries. This is literally exactly how a certain tragedy started in 1930s Germany, and now it's repeating here. I cannot even begin to overstate how fucking terrifying it is that our government is actively disappearing people and then wiping all records of their existence. There's absolutely zero mainstream coverage of this, so please save and share to get the word out, because this is something we cannot stay silent on.
We darn sure can't stay silent on it, because next time it could be you. I want y'all to pay attention. If they're and these people are not criminals, okay? Please pay attention. Now, if they're snatching up people, we know ICE does not have any rules to go by. They've been put out there. These people don't even know what the hell they're doing. They haven't been properly trained. They're out there trigger happy. They're out there brutalizing people and just being whole demons. And some of those people I don't even think belong on this soil. I think they came from that other place that we already know what I'm talking about, okay? Now, where are these people? Did they eat them too? I have so many questions. Let me tell y'all something. At the end of the day, people better start doing something to defend themselves. I'm going to tell you like that. Lawlessness cannot continue. Okay? I'm going to tell you that right now. Somebody posted this picture of Congress right here, and it says, I'm going to tell my kids this is Epstein Island. Well, you wouldn't be lying. Okay? You wouldn't be lying. At the end of the day. This guy says why some Black people aren't shocked by the Epstein files.
And then we Black.
Hold on. Let me put an overlay on this. I'm trying to get any copyright claims. I need all my coins. Please pay attention.
Black, bruh. We're Black. We're Black. I'm sorry, Hype Plus out there watching, Hypers Club members. They used to eat us, fam. They used to eat niggas. What is there to be surprised about for us specifically? I don't know what white people was doing when they founded this thing amongst themselves. I don't know what they had going on, but they ate niggas. They used our children as bait. There were plantations where they bred niggas. So are any of us gonna be so surprised that we like up in arms that, oh my God, there's an evil cabal that's human trafficking and harming people and drugging people? Well, Epstein Island just a plantation, dog. Ain't had no cotton. And I'm not trying to reduce the atrocities that happen there. What I mean is that they're just not new atrocities.
Well, that's certainly a fact. Okay, that's certainly a fact. We know who they are, so we weren't surprised at all. Now, listen to this, because once again, those people are trying to tell America what to do, and America's likely going to do it. And to find out that this is likely why we have been censored, okay, here's what it says. We have to control what is allowed to spread on social media. Anything we label propaganda needs to be censored. Who the hell are they? They have questions. Okay, why are they running stuff over here and there? Okay, make it all make sense.
The next thing we will do, is to put restriction on the social media in a way that not allowed to make brutal propaganda in the social media.
And by propaganda, he means telling the truth about them and calling them out for the truth. That's what that is, okay? We know how people get demonized, okay, and criticized for just speaking the facts. Nobody's using propaganda except for them, in my opinion, but let's continue.
Because this is a worldwide problem.
I think they're the worldwide problem, but let's continue.
And it should be initiated by the United States of America, the place where all the big firms is settled. Facebook and X and all the rest. This is a major problem for democracy all over the globe. And we need to treat it seriously. We can do it.
Let me tell you all something. What we need to start doing is boycotting these social media platforms. That's what we need to do. We need to start boycotting Facebook, Instagram. We need to probably keep TikTok so we can spread information. But at the end of the day, we need to boycott some of these platforms. Okay, see how they love that. Let them know they're not running anything. That's the only way you can do it, because otherwise they'll be telling us what we can and say forever, and it'll only get worse. Okay, it'll only get worse. I want y'all to pay attention. Congress just voted to kill the bill that would expose slush funds used to pay off sexual harassment cases by members of Congress. The results were 357 to 65. Both parties voted to cover up these slush funds. Okay, the resolution would have required the Ethics Committee to publicly release all reports related to investigations into sexual harassment or misconduct involving members of Congress or their aides. They don't want to talk about that. We know that members of Congress are using taxpayer dollars to pay off sexual harassment. Okay, we just had members of Congress literally sexually harass a woman, then lit herself on fire, and you guys all protected him. Do y'all hear this? Did y'all hear this? And this is why some of them are in the Epstein files.
All right. I support Representative Mace's subpoena here, as well as the amendment to it. And I just think it's really disgusting how this institution protects itself, because y'all just half of them voted to send this stuff to House Ethics, where you know it's going to die. We know that members of Congress are using taxpayer dollars to pay off sexual harassment. We just had a member of Congress literally sexually harass a woman that then lit herself on fire, and you guys all protected him. You guys all protected my own side, your side. And so if you guys want to talk about victims, if you want to go out and virtue signal, and then you guys are going to kill her stuff on the floor and then try to pass, yeah, of course we should subpoena all of this stuff. But just, I'm not going to sit here and play games. I think it's a complete fraud. I think that's why the American people hate us. I think the midterms are coming up and everyone should go on record for this. And I hope that members are exposed for this. I hope it goes back, I think, to the 70s, because it's wrong that it's happening. It's wrong that we cover up for it. It's wrong that we can't censor our own side because people are busy making deals because you guys don't want to censor your side. It's a deal that's been cut and people hate us for it. So yeah, I support it.
Wicked. Okay, visibly frazzled Democratic Representative Yas Ansari announced that she just voted to subpoena AG Pam Bondi.
Her egregious, huge news, everyone. On a bipartisan basis, the Oversight Committee just voted to subpoena Attorney General Pam Bondi. This means that she will have to come before the Oversight Committee and answer questions about her egregious cover-up of the Epstein files. Huge news, everyone. On a bipartisan
shocking. Married 33-year-old music teacher Naomi Takea Craig pleaded guilty to 15 charges after R-wording a 12-year-old boy for 16 months. Now, this is a woman, okay? He became a father at just 13. A trusted educator shattered a child's entire future. Sentencing pending, okay? And they say that she's expected to get like 7 to 9 years. This is all sick. Look at her here with her husband. Same usual suspects, like I told you. When this is your culture, this is just what it is.
Perth teacher who police believe gave birth to her student's baby after repeatedly sexually assaulting him has admitted to the shocking sex crimes. Naomi Craig pleaded guilty to all 15 charges. Cassidy Moscone reports.
Good afternoon. There was no sign of Naomi Craig in court today. She was given special permission to appear via a phone link on medical grounds. We heard her repeatedly say guilty, Your Honour, to every shocking charge against her. The 33-year-old was first charged with 3 offences by detectives from the Child Abuse Squad back in December. Since then, she's given birth to a baby. Police say a DNA test was done and believe the former student is the father. father. Craig taught at Frederick Irwin Anglican School. It was revealed in court today the boy she assaulted, a former student, was just 12 and 13 years old at the time of the offences. Craig now faces a total of 15 charges and admitted to every one of them: sexual penetration, persistent sexual conduct, possessing child exploitation material, and indecent dealing.
Child sex offences in our community are absolutely heinous. I think it shocks all members of our community, and this is no different.
The Education Department confirmed Craig's teaching registration has been cancelled. Craig remains at home on bail. Her case was fast-tracked to the District Court, where she'll appear in March when a sentencing date will be set.
All of these people are just sick and absolutely disgusting. Now, here's another one. OMG, the mainstream media can never inform you like this. Kim Iverson reveals that the top funder for APAC is a billionaire who profits from OnlyFans and corn, driving societal degeneracy. She masterfully connects the Epstein blackmail ring to why corrupted politicians, including potentially Trump, are being forced into foreign wars. Let's talk about this.
So he's making money off of porn, which also a rabbi. This is the founder of OnlyFans. Now, OnlyFans is a porn site. Women are on there. It's just like sex workers. I'm not really exactly sure what they do on OnlyFans, except I know there's a lot of sex and a lot of nudity, and a lot of guys pay a lot of money for it. And this guy is worth, this is Leonid Radvinsky, he is worth about $8 billion. He is the number one funder of APAC. So he's making money off of porn, which also a rabbi owns Pornhub, by the way. And he's
Y'all heard that? Y'all heard who owns Pornhub? What? Absolutely despicable. Let's continue.
making all this money off of creating a degenerate society, reeling Americans and maybe others around the world into degeneracy, ruining families, ruining wholesomeness in America, going totally against Christian values, making a fortune off of it, using that fortune to then fund APAC, which is, of course, the lobby group that pretty much talked all of our politicians into getting us into this war.
Because they were paid, allegedly. Okay? Sold out. They sold us out. Please pay attention.
So that is the root of why we're even in this. It's APAC, it's Epstein, the pedophilia ring that ended up blackmailing a bunch of our government officials, maybe even Donald Trump. Otherwise, I don't know how this makes any sense at all. Trump was questioned about getting into the war, and he says, well, I had to get into the war. What do you mean by that? Are you being blackmailed by the Epstein files? Is there
yes, he is. He absolutely is.
somebody you love or yourself who's being blackmailed with a bunch of pedo tapes? And this is a Christian holy war that God has anointed? I mean, that's really the argument here, that this is holy, this is wholesome, that this is sanctioned, this is a wonderful thing. And meanwhile, you've got porn and Epstein and the slaughter of children. And you can still tell yourself that this was some sort of a prophecy of God's. Maybe has it not occurred to you that maybe you're actually the evil one? You are Amalek and not the other way around? Has it ever occurred to anybody that the actual true descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who became Israel, is actually the Palestinians, the Samaritans, the Lebanese, the Syrians, that they're the actual descendants of Israel, and these others who've shown up are actually this?
Sorry, honey, but it's the black folk in the United States, or shall I say the divided snakes, okay? Now listen to this, because he says that Bibi is absolutely blackmailing Trump. Let's get into it.
I believe that the American government is sort of trapped by the Israelis. Jeffrey Epstein is one of their tools to trap them.
And what do you think of Dershowitz's denial?
I give you an example. Hold on a second. I want to give you an example. Bill Clinton, President Bill Clinton, Ehud Barak met Arafat in the 90s, and there was no deal. The reason was Epstein. They were being blackmailed by Epstein. Ehud Barak was also a friend of Epstein, the prime minister of Israel at the time. But he was being blackmailed by the Israeli right wing as well. And they stopped an agreement with Arafat. They were about to reach an agreement there for a two-state solution, but that was stopped because of Epstein. They were both being blackmailed by Epstein.
And so Jeffrey Epstein, in a way, presumably being used as a tool by the Israelis, helped to change the course of history in this region I'm speaking to you from.
Of course, a change thing. And they trapped a number of U.S. presidents by using Jeffrey Epstein. And it wasn't only about sex, it was also the money issue. Where was the money coming from? But everything is stuck over Gaza. And I believe the Israelis have the American government captive due to what happens with Epstein, or what happened in the past with Epstein. Rupert Murdoch, newspaper, Wall Street Journal, put out that card or something, birthday card Trump sent to Epstein. Where do you think they got it from? And I don't think Trump wants to continue this war or the genocide. I think it's the Israelis holding him back.
Given how much maverick power he has to create peace in South North Korea, in Palestine, in all these different places, one might ask, why do they need Jeffrey Epstein?
Hold on, beloveds. I was just about to go to something else until he said that. Let me just roll it back real quick. I want to hear this. I mean, it's all just making sense as far as I'm concerned. Now, he just asked him, why didn't they just assassinate, okay, instead of the blackmailing Trump?
Why do they need things like Jeffrey Epstein?
Somebody tried to assassinate him, didn't they? Before the election. It doesn't always work. I'm not sure what's going to happen because, people look at these pictures of starving children all over the world, and there's a lot of pressure on these politicians to say enough, to tell them enough is enough. I'm not sure how far this will go. And I think the Israelis are committing harakiri on themselves, or by doing this, because eventually they will be stopped.
Now, that is where the GCC countries arguably can leverage financial power to replace AIPAC lobbying power, as it were. Do you believe that Trump can begin to leverage some of that Arab world, global South, BRICS world power to be able to end the genocide?
No, I believe that he can end the genocide right now if if he just stops being scared of the Israelis. What are they going to say about him? How many girls did he abuse? How many billions of dollars he took? Let them say whatever they say. He should stop the genocide. Let them do whatever they want to do. Morality should take over. I encourage him to stop the genocide at any price.
Robert Maxwell was an incredibly intelligent man. He was trying to leverage things against the Israeli state, perhaps financial deals for his company. Look what happened to him. Can't the Israelis every time tell Trump, you try and mess with us? Someone as clever, and people can look up Robert Maxwell's heroic wartime record, they can still kill you.
I can't comment about that, but I hope Donald Trump will have the interest of the United States and the Middle East at heart and do the right thing.
Well, that's not going to happen. If we have to sit around and wait for Trump to decide to do the right thing, honey, we'll be waiting until hell literally freezes over. And that's just facts. Bill Clinton asked directly to his face about the bizarre and horrific death of Mark Middleton during his Epstein deposition. Middleton had deep ties to the Clintons, Jeffrey Epstein, and the Lolita Express. Okay, this is Bill Clinton's former top advisor. Okay, remains shrouded in mystery. Let's get into it.
Are you familiar with Mark Middleton?
Yes. The Clinton body count, which is the strange number of suicides that seem to happen in Clinton circles. I have a headline here from the Washington Post that said, Trump peddles false conspiracy theories tying the Clintons to several deaths. So I just wanted to highlight real quick, this wasn't in Trump's video, but this is from the Arkansas Times. And it's the death of Mark Middleton, who was a former Clinton White House aide, who was found dead on a Clinton Foundation property. And I'll just quote from the Arkansas Times. Middleton apparently shot himself in the chest with a shotgun and also hung himself from a tree with an extension cord. So I have no idea how somebody commits suicide that way, but if the Washington...
What? Do y'all hear this? Y'all know that's some BS. Said the man shot himself in the chest and hung himself from a tree? How did he do all of that, pray tell? Okay, the lies just keep coming.
The Post is here. Maybe you can enlighten us as to how that was actually a suicide. So anyways, that's just a lead into my question about the most famous Clinton-related suicide, which is that of Jeffrey Epstein.
There was a period of time when he was in a position to wave people in to the White House because he was that was one of his jobs.
Okay. So he has been identified by multiple news sources to be the individual that most of the time was entering or signing in Jeffrey Epstein into the White House.
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware that Mr. Middleton committed suicide?
Yes, I
in
am.
2022. He was found dead at Hefner Ranch, approximately 30 miles from his home in Little Rock. He was discovered hanging from a tree by an extension cord around his neck with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest. So he was shot and hung. Do you have any information that leads you to suspect that he did something other than commit suicide?
No.
Okay.
Do you have any concerns that this was in relation to his knowledge or relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, given the date?
But the president has
of the
already
suicide?
testified to the fact that he was unaware that Mr. Epstein was visiting the White House. So are you asking him then as to what he would have known?
I'm asking, when you heard about the death, knowing about the things that have been, at this point, it's all over the news, seeing that he has committed suicide. Have you ever had any conversations with people about whether or not that there's any relationship between the two?
Oh, no. No one's ever suggested it to me.
Bill Clinton sitting up here lying through his teeth. First of all, if anybody heard what happened to that man, they clearly, if they had common sense, should have known that doesn't sound like he did it to himself. And also, I thought it was interesting how they ordered that his body or the pictures of his body be sealed. Okay, please pay attention.
One of the most powerful people in the Epstein files is somebody you may not have heard of. Her name is Kathy Rumler, and she is one of the people who communicated with Jeffrey Epstein the most, according to emails released last month from Epstein's estate by House investigators. She's a former White House counsel to Barack Obama, and now top lawyer at one of the world's most powerful banks, Goldman Sachs. Records show that before she joined the bank, they exchanged more than 100 emails, and Epstein's schedule lists them having more than 50 planned meetings between 2014 and 2019. Long after he was a registered sex offender. Across the many messages, Rumler emerges as a confidant and friend to Epstein, and he turned to her for help for managing his public reputation after he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from a minor. In one 2019 message, for example, Epstein wrote that Rumler helped him craft a statement in response to a forthcoming Washington Post editorial that was calling on Congress to investigate him. He referred to it as the Rumler proposal. The statement defended Epstein and denied that he ever received a sweetheart deal. This is what Kathy suggests we tell Washington Post, Epstein said. While Rumler told CNN that she did not represent Epstein and was not compensated by him, she did not directly answer whether she ever crafted PR statements for him or advised him on media strategy. Rumler said she had no knowledge of any new or ongoing unlawful activity by Epstein. In an email to Epstein in June 2018, Rumler dismissed a Daily Beast story about allegations against him, describing it as a, quote, novella of rehashed crap. Now, Rumler told CNN she was referring to the article, not the allegations against Epstein, and said, "I have deep sympathy for anyone victimized by Epstein, and as I have said many times, I regret ever knowing him." But at the time, Rumler's correspondence with Epstein often appeared to go beyond professional matters. They gossiped about current events, arranged celebrity lunches and dinners. Epstein even appears to have coordinated some of her personal beauty appointments. In her statement to CNN, Rumler referred to Epstein as a business referral source and said she knew him in a, quote, professional capacity when she worked in private practice. Rumler told CNN, "I did not travel with him, go out to dinner with him, or spend time with him one-on-one, except in a professional setting. As has been well established, Epstein's calendars and schedules often do not reflect reality." What's so interesting about Rumler is that unlike other Epstein associates like Larry Summers or Prince Andrew, who have paid a steep price for their association with Epstein, Rumler has managed to fly under the radar. She remains at Goldman Sachs, which so far has chosen to stand by her. One of the
Now, if you ask me, the only reason they thought it was significant to report on this woman is because she had ties to President Obama. Okay? She was the White House counsel to Barack Obama. But at the end of the day, the good news is Barack and Michelle Obama weren't tied to this BS. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, let's continue. Okay, so let's talk about this Pam Bondi. Okay, being subpoenaed.
Okay, the question is now on motion number 2 from Representative Mace. This deals with Attorney General Bondi. Members will record their votes using the electronic voting system. The clerk will now open the board. Have all members? That's it. And remember, the Attorney General has offered to come in and give briefings.
Briefings or hearing?
Briefing. Okay. Have all members? Have all members?
It's not.
We've got-
There's no commitment for her to come in, as far as I understand. To come in. Here.
Hold on.
The vote total is recorded.
In our new committee room last September, so.
Okay, I didn't watch that before showing it to you all. I thought they were going to be doing some more talking, basically showing the voting results. Okay, now I meant to show you all also that video clip of Bill Clinton where he was just acting really weird, if you ask me, when they were showing him some images from the Epstein files. Like he's sitting there giggling. It looked like he was reminiscing. Okay, like he was remembering the good old days or something. This man is so weird, him and his wife, both weirdos.
Let me see it. Okay.
Mr. President, we have about 5 minutes remaining in the majority's first hour. So I just want to ask you some questions related to the crimes committed by Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell.
My thing is, why was he sitting there grinning like that? He looked like he was getting some sort of kick. Don't y'all think so? He looked like he was getting a thrill out of it. Okay. Terry Hinton said the Clintons look like reptilians, straight lizards. That's because that's likely what they are. Okay, quiet as it's kept, beloved. But let's continue. Because they say that Ghislaine Maxwell's out there wandering the streets. Y'all tell me if y'all think this lady looks like Ghislaine Maxwell, because I have several questions. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Lights up, everyone, please. Nene said he couldn't even hold his glass. I know, right?
Ghislaine? Do I know you? You like Ghislaine?
No, sorry.
No? Oh, I used to order the hella pizza off her.
Motherfucker.
Shall we?
Wait a minute, how's this on the screen? I'm trying to get this off the screen. Okay, anyway.
Delivery, yeah.
That piece of shit. He ain't dead.
Ghislaine? Do I know you? You like Ghislaine?
No.
Now, I'm sorry. Does that look like Ghislaine or not? Does that look like her to you all?
Oh, sorry.
No? Oh, I used to order the hella pizza off her.
Oh, really?
Shall we deliver?
Look how she
Ghislaine?
looks when he calls her name.
Do I know you? You like Ghislaine?
No, sorry.
No? Oh, I used to order the hella pizza off her.
Motherfucker.
Shall we deliver? Yeah.
I don't know if that's her or not, but that damn sure looks like her. And why did she turn her head so quickly when he said her name? Okay, you know what? I don't put anything past these devils at this point. Okay? I don't put anything past it. Somebody said this is AI. Is it? Because here's the thing about that. You know, the thing about AI is that when stuff starts coming out, they can easily tell us it's AI. And the fact of the matter is, just like the videos that they claim they have about Trump that he's supposed to be blackmailed about, I guarantee you, if and when that stuff comes out, they're going to say it's AI too. Okay, so they're not going to give me what it's AI. Everything's not AI. That's just a convenient excuse. Yeah, they can easily debunk stuff, beloved. Okay, it didn't look like AI to me, and y'all know that I always can tell when something's AI 9 times out of 10. I don't know if that was or not. Maybe it is, but the bottom line is they can always use that as their convenient excuse, and that's what I told you all months ago. Okay, that's the dangers of AI. Now let's go to this FBI whistleblower. And this just goes to show that we can't trust the FBI and how they'll cover up and do all sorts of things. And if you're somebody who works for the FBI and you start blowing the whistle, they'll even have you arrested. They've done it before. Okay, please pay attention. Please pay attention.
FBI whistleblower has this to say to America.
About a minute and a half, and then I want to turn the rest of my time to Mr. Jordan.
Yes, sir. I would just say that I consider the hearing today my last act of service as a public servant for the United States of America, and I'll give you my professional opinion. I personally have no confidence that the FBI will rein in its own conduct. There are no current effective checks and balances against them conducting lawless action with any type of correction in a legitimate time frame. Their ability to overclassify information can allow them to stonewall forever. My other recommendations are in the natural order. First, vote. The second is the Second Amendment. Arm yourself and know how to defend yourself. Make 3 to 4 friends in your neighborhood and promise to come to each other's mutual aid in times of hardship. And during the Great Depression, people stocked up a pantry. So I think that's a good practice, especially in our economic times, and make sure you have 3 to 4 months of food. As a person of faith, I'd say pray the rosary and read the gospel of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and live it every day. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Forgot I was muted. Y'all hear what that man said? Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. Okay, he was giving you all the same advice that I give you for your lifeline. Stock up your pantry for 3 to 4 months and get some other people that you can barter with. At the end of the day, it's about to get real ugly out here. Okay, and some people are just not going to be ready because y'all don't listen. And let me tell you all something too. When I'm telling y'all that something's going to happen, let us just pray that they don't attack our power grid. Okay? Because that's what I think might be coming. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's talk about the man that came before Epstein. Before Epstein's island, power and privilege shielded abuse on Michigan's North Fox Island. Michigan's analog age trafficking network mirrored the power structures later tied to Jeffrey Epstein. Let's talk about it. Okay? Now, and they say some of the events and depictions in this article are very disturbing in nature. As the revelations and debate continue about the millions of files related to the late SEX offender Jeffrey Epstein and their international ties to wealth, privilege, and perversity, the idea of sophisticated network of elites sexually preying upon children is not just a modern facet of an internet-connected world, but eerily similar to a scandal that was centered in Michigan more than half a century ago. North Fox Island is small, just over 3 miles in length and about a mile wide, located in Lake Michigan, about 50 miles north of Traverse City. While it is currently state-owned and uninhibited, that was not always the case. Now, purchased by Francis Shelden, also known as Frank, in 1960, access to the island was very difficult until Shelden installed a landing strip with the intent of allowing small aircraft as the primary meaning of getting there. Shelden also built cabins and created trails, making it into a remote resort and camp where he, along with a group of other men, incorporated a tax-exempt charitable trust in 1975 known as Brother Paul's Children's Mission. They always want to act as though they're trying to help the poor little downtrodden children. Okay, please pay attention. Now, on its face, the mission was noble. This group of men, some wealthy, some educators, but all concerned, they would recruit young boys and teenagers from underprivileged communities and offer mentorship, guidance, and skill building that the boys wouldn't normally have access to. So in reality, Shelden and the others were actually recruiting and exploiting these young boys for sex and the production of child sex abuse materials. Brother Paul served as a front for these operations and boasted a client list of wealthy visitors to the island. Now, if one couldn't afford a visit, though the creation and dissemination of sexually abusive images was a less expensive alternative. So if you couldn't come to the island, you can get the pictures. That's cheaper. Okay, please pay attention. This is all sick. Let me just go to a newspaper clipping from when this was initially reported. Okay, absolutely egregious. Like I told you all, this is nothing new. And after Epstein, there's still somebody that came right behind. Okay, this stuff is still going on. All right, so please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, let's continue. So Shelden was at the nexus of the criminal enterprise, as J. Reuben Appelman in his book, The Kill Jar, equated him to essentially the CEO of an trafficking ring, with the island as a central piece of it. Now, a graduate of both Yale University and Wayne State University, Shelden came from old money. He was a descendant of one-time Michigan Governor Russell A. Alger, a Civil War veteran and lumber baron who later became President William McKinley's Secretary of War. Now, the family's wealth and privilege allowed Shelden to not only buy the island for $20,000 in 1960, but ostensibly aided in covering up the atrocities that he and his compatriots all allegedly indulged in. One of those associates was Gerald Richards, whose day job was a gym teacher, notably at Catholic schools in Michigan, and as a traveling magician who would routinely perform at children's birthday parties and events pro bono. Now, I'm sure he was doing it free because he was trying to groom those kids, okay? So disgusting. They had met, much like other child exploitation offenders at the time, via communications in the classified and personnel sections of weekly publications. Now, Richards was convicted on molestation charges in 1976 when the parent of a student at St. Joseph Catholic School in Port Huron raised concerns after hearing from her child and others in Richards' gym class. Now, in a plea deal, Richards gave up the information about Shelden's North Fox operations, prompting Michigan State Police to raid Shelden's Ann Arbor home. Shelden, though, had taken up residence in the Netherlands, okay, which at the time did not have an extradition treaty for child criminal sexual conduct. Yeah, he fled the scene as soon as his partner got arrested. He already knew it was about to go down. Now, reports indicate that Shelden passed away, still in the Netherlands, in 1996, and that's when Epstein came on the scene. Now, with that all being said, Richards, much like Epstein's co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell, entered into a plea deal with prosecutors and was sentenced to 2 to 20 years in prison. That's it. Given immunity, Richards testified in 1977 in front of the U.S. Senate Subcommittee on Juvenile Delinquency, where he disclosed the North Fox operations and how rings like the one he worked with Shelden not only recruited children as product, but also fostered and communicated to the massive customer base. Although I had contact with about 600 correspondents and customers, I gave away a lot of material in an effort to latch onto a very few wealthy men as supporters. That's what he told the committee. In many respects, my life was ruined by the mail. What about those children's lives? Now, after serving only a couple of years behind bars, Richards removed himself from public life in 1978 and died in 1994 in Port Huron from natural causes. It's telling that the only member of the North Fox Island cabal to see any kind of punishment was Richards, a gym instructor without the resources to flee the country or otherwise elude justice. Okay, because he didn't have money like that. And then he only got a couple of years. Now, in many respects, he was more indicative of the clientele that North Fox Island serviced. So one of those clients was a man by the name of Christopher Bush. The investigation into his activities and subsequent self-deletion helped to shine a light, on a very dark corner of Michigan's past, an odyssey that began 50 years ago this week. This is at the publication of this article, which was February the 20th of this year. Okay, the Oakland County child killer case. Now, the North Fox Island trafficking ring was not content with their business exploits on the island, with Shelden connected to another trafficking operation in Tennessee called the Tennessee Boys Farm, run by the Reverend Claudius Bud Vermeil Jr. They even have pastors involved. Now, as Richards testified to Congress, the network was overwhelmingly connected via the U.S. mail. While testifying, he drew an elaborate diagram showing just how the network of child exploitation operated. Now, Richards worked as the assistant to the manager in a Chicago adult bookstore and said he paid very close attention to what customers asked for, and in turn, cataloged the companies that were creating illicit child sexual material, which was never on public display. Richards and others involved in the trade would communicate through personal classified ads in the back of homemade signs and in direct mail outreach collected through the orders and other shops. This would then become the pool of customers for Brother Paul's and the Tennessee Boys Farm and countless others. Now, Richard's testimony demonstrated how the operations would function on the ground. Those newsletters compete with ads, and local adult bookstore patronage were exactly where the would-be PDF files would find materials that they desired. So Bush was not from an affluent family like Frank Shelden, but his family was influential. He was the son of H. Lee Bush, the executive finance director of Europe for General Motors. Bush attended school in Switzerland, went to Wayne State University for a year, and then eventually graduated from a Midland culinary school. His father provided the financial backing, and Bush opened a restaurant and bar called the Scotsman in Alma. Now, Bush was arrested in 1977 with a man named Gregory Green, in Genesee County for sexually exploiting more than 24 adolescent boys. Under questioning, Green, who was eventually convicted and sentenced to life in prison on child sexual assault charges, implicated Bush in the notorious Oakland County child killer case, making him a person of interest in an investigation that involved 4 murdered children and remains unsolved till this day. Now, we'll talk about that this coming Sunday on for the members only for true crime, that child killer case. Now, between February of 1976 and March of 1977, 4 adolescent children were abducted, kept for a period of time, murdered, and their bodies would be disposed of in the greater Detroit area. Each of them lived in areas that were considered safe: Berkeley, Ferndale, Royal Oak, and Birmingham. Now, the murders of these 4 children ascribed to an unknown subject called the Oakland County child killer. It contained elements making them more difficult to solve than most. Okay, and so this is all just egregious. So this man was before Epstein. Okay, now let's go to this clip. Like stuff, everyone, please. Don't forget to like it. Thank you in advance.
Jeffrey Epstein, millionaire businessman Frank Shelden, had turned North Fox Island on Lake Michigan into a pedophile's dream. He had purchased the 820-acre island in 1959 before setting up a summer camp for boys called Brother Paul's Children's Mission. He would fly the boys out to North Fox on his private jet, promising the trip of a lifetime. Once there, the children were told to strip naked because that was the way people on islands live.
He targets working class children. Shelden would then fly over men who would sexually abuse the trapped boys and film the assaults to be sold as child abuse material via their network of predators. Over 24 people were arrested. Shelden himself escaped prosecution by fleeing to the Netherlands. The US Congress only passed the Protection of Children Against Sexual Exploitation Act in 1977. At that time, the government was actually subsidizing the summer camp.
Well, hell, it looks like history is repeating itself. Remember when a Yale-educated millionaire fled the country to avoid child abuse charges, and the United States never pursued extradition? In 1976, Francis Duffield Shelden owned a private island in Lake Michigan, not as a vacation home, as a base of operations. Shelden came from Michigan royalty, descendant of a state governor, lumber fortune, Yale graduate, former Air National Guard. He volunteered with Big Brothers, ran what he called a nature camp for troubled youth on his island. Police discovered it was a child pornography operation. Boys were flown to the island via his private plane, filmed in sexual acts, footage sold to wealthy subscribers. When police raided his Ann Arbor home in July 1976, Shelden was gone. Flew his private plane out 3 days after his associate was arrested, fled to the Netherlands. A federal warrant was issued in February 1977, but the U.S. took no action to bring him back. Shelden lived openly in Amsterdam for nearly 20 years, maintained access to his family trust, reported to have died in 1996, never faced trial. Police had found customer lists with names of wealthy subscribers. None of the clients were ever charged, which raises one question. If police had a client list of men who paid to abuse children, why wasn't a single client ever charged?
Okay, why wasn't a single client ever charged? Well, you know, we see how they get down. And at the end of the day, listen, this is nothing new. It's the same soup twice warmed over. These people have been doing this, okay? And they have been allowing these PDF files to get away with it and flee the country. That's no excuse. They did the same thing with Roman Polanski, okay? Please pay attention. All right? This has been going on for decades. Now, with that all being said, I want you all to listen as this politician is speaking and this demonic sounding voice comes out, okay? I want you all to pay attention to this. It sounds like a whole demon. Let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Vários ministérios da máquina pública. E ao mesmo tempo, nós não vamos parar por aí. Já estão encomendados. Deixa eu pedir uma pastinha. Já estão encomendados estudos para eliminar. Chega, é muito. Já estão.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Juju said, what the hell did he say? Did y'all hear that? First of all, and then he tried to clear his throat as if that was going to help. Nelson G said, OMG, the demon is revealing himself. He absolutely was. Y'all heard that, right? Let's hear it again. That was all nefarious.
Eliminamos vários ministérios da máquina pública. E ao mesmo tempo, nós não vamos parar por aí. Já estão encomendados. Deixa eu pedir uma pastinha. Já estão encomendados estudos para eliminar.
Okay, it's a no for me. Reggie said he needs more than water, okay? He needs holy water. Y'all hear that? Sheesh. Honey, I would have been out of there so quick, fast, and in a whole hurry, okay? Did y'all see that lady with the blonde hair, how she got up, looked like she was about to run up out of there? I absolutely would have. Okay, that was just very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, likes up, everyone, please like and share. We're almost out of here. Hold on. Let me go to this this next clip. Danger said, bless oil, okay?
You know that reptilians and Draco, you know, the blood sacrifices, the whole Luciferian thing, the kids being killed and eaten. I mean, that humans have been eaten and taken off planet, et cetera, and used for slaves in other colonies, et cetera.
I hate to say that, but that's far worse than what you've just said.
It's far worse.
Yes, far worse.
Far worse, yeah.
And that the whole blood situation is it's unbelievable. And
right.
I don't know how we say that to the public I don't know how, but wait a minute, just a second. On that part of this whole subject, to me, if we get into that, and I know all about it, okay?
All right.
Far more than you know.
Sure,
all right?
I'm sure.
Fair
But you
enough
do
with
know that reptilians and Draco.
Okay, I just want you all to pay attention because a lot of people want to act like this is all conspiracy theories. Okay, yeah, I don't think so. Okay, I absolutely don't think so. These things are absolutely walking amongst us. They are not human. Not in my opinion. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's talk about Mr. Tenderism and what happened with him. Okay, let's talk about it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Let me see here. Now, I may not show these in order. First off, let's go to Keith Lee, because this is how the whole thing got exposed, is when Keith Lee went there to do a review on the food. Okay, here we go. Lieutenant Maxwell, or MXY, I'm not sure how to say your name, beloved, said, Queen, will you be my Valentine 2027? Thanks for asking, beloved, but I'd have to ask my husband about that. All right, please pay attention. Now, let's get into it.
Family are currently in Marietta, California, and this, in my opinion, is the most anticipated video I've ever done. In my hand is food from Destination Smokehouse, with the Tenderism. My whole mission today to see, in my opinion, is the food actually Tenderism, or do I just love watching Unc? Let's find out together. I got it. Let's try it and rate it 1 through 10. We spent $129.77. The customer service, my family said, was very good. This food was quick. It only took us 10 minutes to get it. And Unc is here, but Unc walking around with 4 different security guards, which I fully understand because people probably bombarding him nonstop. So I'm gonna show you the thing I got, and we're gonna try it and rate it 1 through 10. Holiday yams, mac and cheese, coleslaw, 2 orders of Texas toast, 4 sides of barbecue sauce, and a 3-meat plate. I got a beef rib, some oxtail, and some brisket. We're gonna start with what I came here for, the beef rib. I didn't touch it, I didn't do nothing. This is how it came. To me, it looked like it's sliced. It looked like they slit it straight down the back. So when I pick it up, that's what happened. I'm gonna pick it up and see if it fall off the bone. Well, there ain't no bone in here. I'm gonna just see if it fall apart. It do not.
Oh yeah.
This thing ain't going nowhere. The most important is how it tastes. Let's see. It's very smoky. I think it could definitely be more salt added to this. But right now, I just taste smoke and a lot of peppercorns, which is a very good plus. It's juicy. You see it's all on my beard. It's all on my lips. Top there. That barbecue sauce is sweet, and I think exactly that's what it needs. Again, a little more salt would take this a long way. But as is, I'm at a 7.5 out of 10. This might be the Tenderisms that we were talking about. Just oxtail. It's tender now. Now that's tender. That's the meat.
Where's that?
Now, if I had glasses, I'm throwing the glasses on the floor. That is delicious. Fantastic, man. Actually, tender, juicy, peppery, smoky, salty. That might be the best oxtail I've ever had. It's top 3 and it ain't 3. I'm supposed to be tasting. I'm on my 3rd bite.
I'm trying to get it together.
Delicious. For me, personally, 9.7 out of 10.
It's the peppery. And this is tender. I'm going with a 9.5.
All right, that's the brisket. It ain't going nowhere. Oh, there you go. A little bit of pull action. This is extremely over seasoned, in my opinion, when it comes from not only a sodium level, but also a flavor level. That's a decent brisket, in my opinion. 6.5 out of 10. This nigga from Texas. I got somebody from Texas with me. Shout out there.
Right, that's the juice.
You smoking? 8.7.
This the mac and cheese. I don't know if this is oil or if this is a lighting, but
Butter starts separating from the noodle.
The cheese completely separated. It almost curdled. I don't know what noodle that is. This is the noodle. Not a fan of that at all. Okay, this the yam. Okay, now that's sweet, cinnamon, a lot of spices and flavors, 8 out of 10. For me, the standout is absolutely the oxtail. But past the oxtail, the standout is Unk. Not only in my opinion is it extremely hard to get people engaged like that, to show your true personality, to be yourself, no matter how fast things take off in the space. I don't think he intended for it to go the way it's going.
Now it says, hold on, it says, we went in to have a conversation with Unk to leave him a $5,000 tip, plus leave $1,000 to pay for anybody in line.
I think he just wants to show his love of food and his love of what it is that he's doing. I'm personally taking $5,000 out of my own bank, and we going to say happy holidays to Unk.
So, update. We could not get to Unk. Security said it was over with for the day. They said that he was filming something. I believe he was filming a podcast. We had $5,000 in cash, or $4,000 in cash that we was going to give him a hand. They didn't take it, so we're not only going to take this money and feed some people, but we just going to do what we feel like we're supposed to do in the community.
And as always, after this, I pray and hope that they continue to reach their target audience.
Okay, so that macaroni and cheese looked trash. Okay, clearly nobody that looks like me made it. I'm so sure. And Aquagirl Right said Mr. Tenderism doesn't cook everything. He ain't make that mac and cheese. Exactly. Yeah, he didn't make that. He only does the stuff that's on the grill. Well, he doesn't even do that now because he's no longer there. And good for him. Okay, good for him because they just basically used him and then got rid of him.
Boy, look here. This is Tenderism at its best. I'm
careless. Oh, do not worry. Come here. I just woke up and I am going. Never in the history of Tenderism have I seen so much tenderness in one meal. I have to see if this is actually that tender. Okay, I am here as Destination Smokehouse. It is me and 2 other people in line right now. I'm here for the tenderness. I'm here for the tenderism. Can I get the rib with the tender rib? This place opened like 10 minutes ago and the building is already filled up. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, I have to try the tenderness. Okay, let's see if the tenderism is really working here. Oh my goodness. They are not kidding. The succulent meat just fell off the bone. This is tenderism history has been made. So try.
Okay, so you see how it was open for 10 minutes and it was already full. Okay, well, that's sadly for them not the case now. Because people are alleging that the owner was actually jealous because Mr. Tenderism or Unk was getting all of this attention. And then he started trying to insert himself into the videos and just trying to get all the clout and take all the credit. And here's the thing. People also didn't like the fact that they previously thought that it was Black owned. Okay, because clearly they had Unk out front for the marketing. And anyway, long story short, when they found out that he wasn't the owner, a lot of people were turned off by that.
The whole tenderism situation is playing out. It really feels like the owner does not want Mr. Tenderism to realize his brand is now bigger than that restaurant. Because once Mr. Tenderism fully understands that the audience is coming for him, not the building, opportunities start going directly to him. And if that happens, he won't need to keep tap dancing for the restaurant anymore. Look at what happened with Keith Lee. Keith tried to give Uncle a huge tip, 5 bands, and security stepped in like an FBI agent talking about he has to give it to the whole restaurant. Why are you telling another grown man what to do with his own money? Not everybody is going to follow your little system just because you said so. As the owner, all you had to do was sit back, let Mr. Tenderism do what he does, collect your money, and enjoy the wave. So what if Mr. Tenderism becomes bigger than the restaurant and eventually leaves? You still would have had the viral surge. You still would have made serious money. You still would have benefited from his audience and his buzz. Y'all could have kept working together and both won. But instead, it feels like you want to keep him small, keep him dependent, keep him dancing in the background while you try to step into the spotlight. And now suddenly you're in all the videos trying to be the star. And that's why people are side-eyeing this situation, because it's starting to look less like teamwork and more like control.
That's exactly what it was. Okay, that's exactly what it was. And here's the thing. He even went so far as to try and trademark the word tenderism, which we all know that Unk came up with that. Okay, but let's continue. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance. But this is a tale as old as time. This whole scenario, quite frankly, reminds me of Jack Daniels, because you all do know that a Black man came up with the Jack Daniels recipe, and look whose family's benefiting off of it. Built their whole generational wealth, okay, from stolen intellectual property. All right, but how many times has this happened throughout history?
Oh boy, let's talk about it, guys. So Cartel Bo, within 24 hours after Mr. Tenderism was fired from Destination Smokehouse, young man stepped up
and bought Unc his own spot in Houston, and it's going to be opening soon. And I'm going to tell you right now, I will be one of the first people there, and he will be getting a nice tip from me. Let's talk about Destination Smokehouse, man. You see, I reported on this story recently, and people were saying, oh, Unc wasn't fired. You don't know what you're talking about. Shut up. He's back at the establishment. Listen, guys, a lot of stuff that y'all was seeing, man, wasn't nothing but old clips, man. That's all it was. Stuff that people was reposting and resharing. That guy, Nick, at Destination Smokehouse, fired that man. He used that man to get his business off the ground. But then when he found out the old man became a social media sensation, it started bringing customers into his restaurant from all over the U.S. Everybody wanted to go to Destination Smokehouse, even Keith Lee. And you know what? I think when Keith Lee went there and he ate and he left that big, attempted to leave that big tip, but he couldn't because they had all these guards around Unc, and then the owner gonna say that the tip should be going to everybody in the restaurant. I think that's what kicked it off right there. They realized this guy is drawing in famous people. He's drawing famous people in. The owner got jealous, trademarked that name, Tenderism, but Unc came back with the official Tenderism, and the owner of Destination Smokehouse can't do nothing about it. So now it is official that Unc was fired from that job. This goes to show you, man, Black people are very smart. We're very, very creative. When we create something and somebody else can't control us, they will actually steal it from us. And then they'll give us the boot, man. Like y'all know a whole bunch of situations about this, man. They take what we invent and then they take the credit for it.
Yep, a tale as old as time. Okay, now here's the owner of Destination Smokehouse during an interview, and he basically admits, that Mr. Tenderism, and the guy in the video was saying tenderism is actually tendernism. Okay, but he basically admits how Unc gave him this idea.
I'm Otis. I'm Otis. You know what else? So
you gonna try to make me David Ruffin?
Well, you already are.
Oh man, that's what you're trying to tell me.
You gotta be a David Ruffin.
Hey man,
you can't be the Temptations without a David Ruffin.
Yeah, boy, that's how you going with it.
No, I mean it's a joke. We already know. If you spend any time here and you see what happens behind the scenes, you can see that our dynamic is way more than that corny stuff. It's like people fell in love with Walt, and I totally get it. We all fell in love with him before we went viral, right? But yeah, the trolls are weird. Walt, sometimes they go at him too, which is crazy. It's like if people had any idea, first of all, if you respect Walt, how are you going to question why he's involved with this business? If you know Walt, you feel dumb even thinking it because he's not getting played by anybody. That's just like a guarantee. He's opened my eyes to when people were trying to play me. So it's like, it's disrespectful to even think Walt would be getting played in this situation. To think that, and the other thing too, people think I'm the money man. What one guy, when he called me the money man, I'm like, money man. I was the zero money man when this thing started. Even when we came down here, there wasn't any money. We did this on a shoestring budget that built up from me taking over a coffee shop that was losing money. It was my family's business, and it was great. It was a great start. But I went in, we owed money. I had to pay bills that weren't mine with money I didn't have. So I did that for a year until I met this gentleman, and he revolutionized my thinking of what we could do in a coffee shop. He's like, hey, you could prep food like this. And why are you doing this like one at a time? And what's up with your inventory? Like just so many tricks. So we went from coffee shop to more of a restaurant. And that was his biggest influence.
Now I want you all to pay attention. So he just basically admitted that Unc gave him the entire idea. See, let me just tell you this. So Unc came to him. He and his wife came there. It was a coffee shop. He started having conversations with the guy's mother, okay, who's the co-owner, and then brought it to them that they should start selling gumbo. I think that's what it was at first, and Unc was making it. Then he came to them and started talking about making ribs. Well, the guy was like, "We don't really have a kitchen." Unc said, "All you need is a grill." So that's what happened. Okay, this was his entire idea. So they went from being a broke down coffee shop who was clearly in debt, not really making a profit, and to making all of this money, okay, hundreds of thousands of dollars at the end of the day, all because of Unc's idea. And this all started in 2019. But let's take a look at what's going on with the Destination Smokehouse now that Unc is no longer there.
So far, all I can say is wow, no line at all. So we'll see if this is let me go inside and see what the line look like inside. But yeah, every time I've came, it's been a line out there, and like all the way in that little area right there, that you can see. Let me see, and then even in here, there'd be a line. So this is how bad the line was getting. You go all over there, but now zero line.
Okay, looks like they're down bad at this point. Okay, no line right about now. Okay, and there's no line right about now. Please pay attention.
Look at that. Look at that. And watch this. Come on. Even the vibrance with the color there. And the flavor is insane. It's like
Destination. One in the nation. Come get.
So the white guy from Destination Smokehouse has now trademarked the word tenderism, ensuring by doing this that Unc can go out on his own and use that word, you know, when he does his briskets and stuff. So Unc can't go on his own and say, this is tenderism, because this guy has trademarked it. Yeah, pretty smart on his part, but I think it's going to backfire on him because no one wants to see him on camera. He has been forcing himself on camera. He is doing everything that he can to put himself into our faces and keep giving Unc less and less screen time, because he saw like, hey, this is pretty cool. Everyone loves him, but it's my business, and I want to be the face of it. I want everyone.
That's exactly what that was all about, okay? That's exactly what it was all about. He wanted the clout and he wanted the credit and the recognition, even though Unc was the mastermind behind the entire thing. Well, now you see what's happened. Like the guy said in that one of the videos, he could have just continued making his money. They could have continued working together. But no, he wanted to get greedy.
Hey, y'all. Come look at this.
all right, let's see. What do you got, Butch? Right. Cool.
What the fuck? Destination Smokehouse over there making Chili's baby back ribs. This the definition of falling the fuck off right here, boy. He done pulled that toothpick at them Applebee ribs.
You guys are cooking ribs like you're trying to win an award.
I don't know what award y'all trying to win. I can tell you this, they done lost that goddamn award. Y'all motherfuckers might not even deserve a participation certificate.
Love it. Look at that. Look at that home.
Absolutely nefarious, okay? But now here's what's going on with Unc. Here we go.
Mr. Tenderism is shaking. And I just want to say, I love doing news that makes me smile with all of my teeth. Mr. Walter Johnson, also known as the Mr. Tenderism, is finally getting his just due. And we love to see it. There's a lot to the story. Let's talk about it. So right now I'm about to show you guys a video clip of Mr. Tenderism finally denouncing Destination Smokehouse. Now, Destination Smokehouse was the white people that owned the barbecue spot that Mr. Tenderism used to work at. But not only did he give them the idea, give them the food recipes, teach them how to barbecue, basically, no pun intended, gave them the sauce. They tried to take the sauce and they tried to patent the name. But Black people rallied around one of our favorite elders and we said, no, ma'am. Tenderism actually got patented by a lawyer and he put it under right here, Diamond Smokehouse Enterprises. They wasn't moving quick enough. You got to be quicker than that, okay? Because Black people were going to protect our own. They literally purchased Tenderism and gave it to Mr. Walter. And not only that, a Houston rapper named Cartel Bo has now swooped in and purchased Mr. Tenderism a restaurant. And when I say it's up from here.
A question I think everybody's been wanting to know is, are you still at Destination Smokehouse?
No, I'm not. I'm not at Destination Smokehouse. I'm with Tenderism now. You know, I had to go on my own, you know, so that way I can do what I have to do. So I don't want nobody to be, it is what it is. You got to move on. When things happen, you don't get mad. Hey, you just take another step, get glad. Praise the Lord, you're still living. But just, hey, I'm finna tenderize the world now. Hey, they should have never. But it is what it is, y'all. And keep, hey, family out there, y'all keep supporting me. And I guarantee you, I ain't gonna do you wrong. Booyah.
Now, that was the clip of him denouncing the restaurant. This is Mr. Cartel Bo. And we have to give him his due, too, because what a wonderful thing to take your money and do. Now, I don't know you. I haven't heard your music, but what a beautiful way to embark yourself on Black history and saying that you saw one of our elders in need, getting taken, you know, advantage of by white supremacy. Let's just call it what it is. And you did this in Black History Month. When I say it touched my soul, I tell you, y'all be making me feel like the Grinch. Heartbeat 2 times bigger when y'all do stuff like that. And the way that they were swooping into his success, not letting Mr. Tenderism take that $4,000 check from Keith Lee, and how they played with him, to see this video that I'm about to show y'all should really make your heart like 30 times bigger, like it did mine. Mr. Tenderism not only is about to have a restaurant, baby, and it's going to be taken off, he's out there cooking for the stars. Check this video out.
Okay, I had to mute it because they're playing music, but that is Ron Isley. Okay, so he catered Ron Isley and his wife's birthday party. It was his wife's birthday party, and Mr. Tenderism catered it, as you can see. The meat was falling off the bone.
Didn't that warm you? Because it really, really warmed me, you guys. Mr. Tenderism, hey, it's Chrissy here. I'm going to throw you just a few ideas. You know, feel free to throw me on one of the seasonings. We need seasonings. We need seasonings. We need sauce. We need marinades. We need a barbecue empire from you. We need tools. We need a Tenderism toolkit. Okay? I saw that you were able to patent like the name to use for merch and hoodies and stuff. We're going to buy all that, hats and all that. But I really need you to hit the food industry crazy. I want to see you with a barbecue show on Food Network. And if you have kids or something, maybe they can help you out because you're older, running a restaurant, being a celebrity chef, barbecue icon in the culinary industry is what you deserve. But you know, you're an older man, you're seasoned. Okay, no pun intended.
All right, so with that all been said, good news for him. But let me just show you. Now, let me pull up this last receipt. This is how dirty they did him. Okay, went behind the man's back, tried to trademark the word tenderism. Receipts of Destination Smokehouse owner filing trademark for tenderism. Here it is right here. Okay, Diamond Smokehouse Enterprises. That's the name of his business. They did this. They filed for it January the 30th of 2024. And you know, Unc didn't even know anything about this, okay? Didn't know anything about it. There he is right there, the registered agent. But he wasn't granted it. A lawyer had already applied for it before he did. Now, quite frankly, the owner of the restaurant could have gotten it before the attorney because the attorney filed it as a 1A, which means that he wasn't currently using the name. And by the fact that the owner of Destination Smokehouse was already using it, he could have been granted it. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is Mr. Tenderism himself came up with that phrase, so he could easily get it from them. Now, they say the attorney actually ended up giving it to Unc. Okay, but that just goes to show you how they'll go behind your back, take your ideas and steal your intellectual property, okay, and not even pay you for the marketing that you've done, for you putting them on, putting them out there and helping them to build wealth. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. And it serves him right now. There's nobody coming to that restaurant. Okay, just a handful of people that look like him. Okay, all of the people that were supporting the restaurant look like us. And now we already see what's happened. So this is what happens when you're greedy. Okay, this is what happens when you're greedy. Now, I don't know if this had anything to do with racism. I'm not going to say the man's racist. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But what we do know is that he's absolutely greedy. Okay, he's absolutely greedy and he's a snake. Okay, he's unappreciative and ungrateful. We know that much. Okay, please pay attention. So with that all being said, yes, Reggie, that was a blessing. And April, I want to thank you for becoming a YouTube channel member, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so with that all being said, I'm out of here. I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. I'll see you all in the morning with your morning wake-up call. Okay, so until next time, beloveds, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hate